just because I can melt the wax. But I missed with the candle, and it went along the side of my wood stove and slid down, and I heard whoosh, and I had a fire. Just a small one on the side of my wood stove. I mean, I got a fire extinguisher right next to it. I found one, so. Good afternoon, family and friends. Sergeant OCD here. I'm in my shop today, working on a waste oil burner. I had to move my other stove, repipe it and everything, but yesterday or the other day, I made a bunch of these. And all these are is little fire starters. I put sawdust in the bottom of an egg carton and then filled it with wax. So I'm going to cut one of these loose and test out my fire. I did find a fire extinguisher, which is a big bonus. It's not all the way charged, but it is most of the way charged. So I'm just going to cut a corner off of this, and all it is filled with wax. I was thinking about putting a wick in it, but why? Cardboard burns. So it's been a busy weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and do the maiden voyage on the new piping. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. All I did, I wanted a little bit more piping here, so I just made a couple of angles for it to go up. Might have got it a little high here, but that's why we play with it. The idea here is I go like this. This is fat wood right here, but it's not, I say it's not fat enough because it doesn't have enough red in it. The whole idea is to light this thing on fire and set it on top of that kindling, and it will go up. I tried to put the flue on here, but that flue is for this type rounded, and all I did, so I didn't have to cut another hole, is put a reducer in there. I had a 4-inch pipe on it going to 6. Now it's 6 completely piped. You know, I just taped it with aluminum tape. So we're going to come back to that one. But I want to explain to you what I'm doing. I got the, I could only find a 6-inch pipe. So it's slim pickings at Lowe's. I'm going to take that and that container there, that propane container. I'm going to cut out the top, cut out a front, put a door and a handle on it so I can use it as a wood burner or an oil burner. Pipe in some air inside, make an oil fixture, and pipe that in, and hopefully it'll drip and burn oil and not get too hot, because this pipe is probably not rated for 1,000 degrees. So that's why I was glad to find the fire extinguisher. I've got it to keep the temp down, but it's a little chilly in here. As you can see, it's burning. The cardboard's burning. The wax is going to melt, light the sawdust on fire. That's going to light all the pine on fire, the fat wood. And I got a whole bucket of that stuff. That's just kindling and stuff. So the only problem with this stove is something this big cannot be burned. So I have to cut everything down to this big. Now this is, like I said before, I only have hard wood. So getting this, I mean, you hear that. Getting it started is kind of a chore, but I could throw that log in there and it should do fine. As you can see right here, it's starting to catch. But this stove, I'm really proud of this stove because it works, and it works pretty well. It was 40 degrees this morning. I didn't get a chance to run it, but it's firing up easy with my little tool here. but I don't want this to fall forward. I'm not going to use my knife. So I got a little bit of smoke coming here. Let me see if I can create a draft and get that draft to come up. Take that off. I just threw that on there. Woo! Hot stuff. I may have to get some high temp RTB and put it around there again. Or just push it in. Who knows? Work in progress, but it's going to be a nice fire, but all it takes is a little bit to light that thing on fire. So I like those things. They're quick and easy. You can make them in your shop in a matter of no time. So just wanted to show you that. I'm going to get working on this stove here, cutting. Now I'm not going to weld anything, okay? The whole idea is to be able to do this with normal cutting tools, you know, not having, you know, a welder or even the skills to weld. Lots of people make this, but they weld everything. You know, they make them for outdoor and not weld, you know, put them in a concrete bucket. One of the skills that anybody should know how to do is to solder copper. So this is going to hook to this hose, and I'm going to attach my copper. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to attach that to the wall, my copper assembly, for lack of better words. This is going to go into here, and then with a hose clamp, tighten it up. So I'll be able to fill this with oil. This is 2 quarts, and so I could fill that with oil. It'll drip down here. This is a ball valve, so I can control the drip. And then I have this conduit back, or this copper back here. So I'm going to put a copper pipe in there. I'm going to put a T in there, because after here there's no pressure. The only pressure is that force from the oil trying to go into here with the ball valve restraining it. So then I'll be able to look in this T valve, or this T, to see my oil drip, and I just want to drip, 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 drip. And then I'm going to bring this down through these elbows, or these 945s, and I'm going to bring it into this pipe. And this pipe is going to go in, and I'm going to bring it into the pipe. The reason I'm double piping it is because I want to be able to take this out and replace it, because it'll get gunked up. It'll, just with the heat in there, I just want to be able to remove it. So I'm going to put that pipe in there, and these are all going to be loose fittings. I am going to sweat some of these, but one of the good things that you want to know is how to sweat pipe. I'm going to show you how to do it on the bench here. I never really see anybody do that unless, you know, they're doing plumbing. So this contraption, so this pipe's going to go in here too, and then what I'm going to do with this, put this other nipple on here. Couldn't get all the right, I mean, they call for like 1.5 inches. This is 1 inch galvanized pipe. So I'm going to poke holes in here on these sides, and then in this cap here, in these caps. So the idea is I can run air through this hose, or through this pipe, into here, and it'll give it air. These stoves, they need a lot of air, and I can also cut the air off easy so it could die down. Now, the can I'm starting with is just a regular 28 ounce can. Ideally, I'm thinking is when I poke this, I'm going to poke some holes into here anyway. When I poke this through, I drill my hole large enough that this will go through one of the holes. So the air will be above it, blowing all around, but not into the oil. Because every one of these, there's 3 different types of these. Every one of these They have it down like this, and there's no holes on the bottom. I'm going to recheck that, but I'm pretty sure that there's no holes on the bottom. Or I could do it this way with no holes on the bottom, just holes on the top. And it very well may need holes on the bottom. So we're going to try it both ways. But this is going to be loose in there, and I may just clamp it. Jed clamp it. So I could take this off through this door, and I should also be able to put this can in here in case I need to replace it. I left the lid in the bottom just for some extra support on the bottom, because I don't know how it's going to be doing, burning inside this. So some of these will last 5 years, 7 years, whatever. We're going to find out. I did buy some tin snips, and my auger finally came in, so I can actually do a proper tower torch with the proper tool. It is smaller than the one I drilled, so we're going to see how much fun we can have there. I'm also still, working on my Dakota fire hole, and I'm not even going to go into that right now. There's some conflicting things I've seen on YouTube. I'm just going to find what works best for me, and then we'll get to that when we get to it. But sweat and pipe, everybody should know how to sweat pipe. Now, my grinder doesn't have a guard on it, so I got to go find the guard, because you should always operate a grinder with a guard on. Okay, I took it off being reckless, and I laid it down somewhere, and I don't know where it is. It may be with my other grinder. I've got one in my shed, so I'm gonna go find that guard and put that on. Probably change the wheel, because I'm gonna do some serious cutting here. So I will be back when I have a lot of this cut out. So there we go. Guard back on here. On another note, yeah, even though my stove was smoking, I forgot. When you first put that tape on, it's got to burn in. So everything had to burn in. So just the glue and everything was smoking on it. So as long as I don't move it, it'll be fine. If I do move it, I'm gonna have to put more tape on it. But it's no longer smoking. I did, put on the overhead fan to blow it out. Excuse my shop, it's a mess. I was putting up 2x4s on the concrete wall to hang some things. But so I just wanted to give you an update on what I'm calling now Franken tank. So this is on pretty sturdy. Now the 6-inch chimney is going to fit over this. So I just wanted something a little tougher that can take the brunt of the heat. So I ended up having to cut off the top, but when I cut this out, I put hinges on it. So it's got hinges, and these get hot, so I got a little wood handle on it. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I did put a stop in here on this side, just so it wouldn't go all the way in, and then a little latch if I had to latch it for like a wood stove. Now I think I have some extra of the door sealant, so I may have to put some around here. Now most of these that I've seen don't need a any type of seal on the doors, so hopefully there's enough draft where and wind where you don't need it. This can's going to just sit in the bottom here. I still have to, I just finished this, so now when I was talking about this before, I'm not going to poke holes in the bottom, but I am going to poke holes in the collars here, and I will poke holes in this. So I got to check out where my nipple is and make sure I don't go into the nipple. I'll do that on the drill press, And then this will sit probably about this height, a little higher. So the idea is this pipe's in here. All I got to do is put this in, and then just screw this to the pipe. So yeah, right around top of the pipe will be up here, and then this pipe will be down lower, so I can have this pipe with the copper going in just to feed it in. So this will take the brunt of the heat, hopefully, and save my copper. So let me do some measurements, drill some holes, but just wanted to keep you updated. You know, one of the things at work, they tell you not to wear gloves with a power tool, but when you're messing with metal like this, I don't try to go against what work says, because you know there's a big campaign last month about safety at home too. So I did wear gloves when I used power tools, and you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do to be safe. I don't like metal splinters in my fingers and stuff. I did get one in my thumb or somewhere, but let me get this thing going, and maybe we could burn some oil today. So I'm almost there. This will fit. I just measured the chimney. I'm not going to have to make much modification there. This goes all the way in, but I got to put a brace in for it. You know, I drilled a 3/4 inch there. Hole saw kit, right? Same hole saw kit, but in 1 inch. 1 inch needs some work. So I got to do that. I don't feel like piping anymore today. I got to drill holes in these. Remember, not the bottom one, but I will drill holes in this. Just the T and this end cap. So I see the thread, how far the thread goes in. So I'm probably going to have to go down this far. What I'll do is I'll draw a circle around that or something. And probably around 8 holes, maybe 6 to 8 holes. And I gotta rim this out some more. I mean, I rimmed it out so much it's smooth. So I gotta do that, but I'm tired. I've been at this for about 4 hours. I just started another fire just to check the chimney to make sure everything was good, and it got up to 80 degrees in here. So according to my thermometer said I don't think that works, but I'm gonna call it a day. I gotta go do my laundry. Family, these are some of the skills you're gonna want to learn. You're gonna want to know how to use power tools, use hand tools. We may or may not have power, we may or may not have generators, but making this type of a stove for used oil could be a matter of life or death. You know, finding used oil and being able to burn it safely and cleanly, you know, is going to be a great skill to have. I wanted to get to piping, but I can't put this in place until this is together. I mean, I can attach things to the walls and stabilize this pipe a little better. I do want it movable because for maintenance I'm going to have to get the copper out of this one. This one doesn't have to be movable or removable. What I wanted to do is get a couple small nipples on this, and this doesn't have to be like this long. I can cut it down, but I wanted to get a couple small nipples, stick it through, and then use a coupling to get it
situated, but it just didn't work out. Lowe's didn't have what I needed. But I'm gonna continue this next week. I'm gonna remount this hole probably during the week. And God bless you, family. Learn these skills.